Hey, Shalom Akim. Shalom, Shalom. All right, this is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. All right, coming again with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord willing, this be edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. And before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, from Mouth grown in this truth under. And shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's going to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith, and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. All right, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations, but your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all. Barakatham. All right. So, pretty much we're entering into these times. All right, these very, very dark days. All right, very, very dark days are approaching, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot is about to happen. Okay, world-changing events are about to take place. You see what I'm saying? And the Lord said that He would show tokens. He would show these signs. All right, for us to keep watch over. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this in. Let's go to the book of Matthew. All right, this is Matthew, chapter 24. All right, Matthew chapter 24. Let's start at verse 36. It reads, "But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left. All right, two women shall be grinding in the mill, the one shall be taken and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what hour, had known in what watch the thief would come, all right, let me read that again. It says, but know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh." Okay, and this is talking about the day of trial, the day of trouble, the day of tribulation. You know what I'm saying? That time of trouble, man, as spoken in Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. All right, that day is coming. Okay, when it's talking about taken, it's talking about those that are being destroyed. You see? Those that are destroyed. You see what I'm saying? The scriptures tell you that there's going to be so few left in the city. Okay? And that terrible time is approaching, man. That terrible time is approaching. You see? There's going to be people that's going to be surviving this. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be so few men left. The scriptures tell us this, man. All right. This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, verse 17. It reads, "Woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?" Jumping down, verse 22 says, "For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. There shall no man be left to till the earth and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. So that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks." It's going to be so few men left. You see what I'm saying? A full moon, a full pink moon will be visible on April the 1st. Okay? And that's taking place on the same night as the Passover. This is the 2nd year in a row. All right, the 2nd year in a row that a special moon had fallen on the night of the Passover. Okay? So, we're coming to the end of this thing, man. All right? We are most certainly coming into the end of this. Let's see, verse 29. It says, "As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives, or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword." So these are those things, these are those tokens that we was told to look out for. Okay? Check this out. It says, "A Rothschild family member shares an ominous warning, saying the end is near." You see? Just a few days ago. By Nathaniel C.J. Rothschild. All right, so these devils know that the time is coming, you know what I'm saying, and they're about to roll up on the people, man. You see? Revelation 12:12, okay? As it says, "Rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them." All right, "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he hath but a short time." All right, and he has a short time left. Okay? So he has to get this thing moving. The plan must be underway. Verse 32 of 2nd Esdras chapter 16. "And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, The women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. You see what I'm saying? Now is not the time to be playing patty cake, you know what I'm saying? Going back and forth with all this, you know what I'm saying? Like, you talk about debates, let's do debates, and let's there's nothing left to debate anymore. You see what I'm saying? Nothing left to debate anymore, man. All right? This thing is at its end. There's nothing more to talk about. All right? Like the elder Apostle Tahar said, there's not many scoffers anymore. You see what I'm saying? Because we, the prophets, all right, beginning with those who came before us, we're not sounding like a bunch of crazy people anymore. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can see this happening. Everyone can see it, man. You know? Again, it says, in the wars shall the bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. These jokers have sent these soldiers to their doom. Okay? And I have the horrifying, you know what I'm saying, thought in my mind that these jokers are being sent over there so that they can be taken out by a massive blast, a nuclear blast. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm gonna show a couple videos, you know what I'm saying? And I declare fair use, all right, under the Copyright Act of 1976. Okay? This is for educational purposes only, but I'm gonna show you a couple videos to you know, basically draw the image of what I'm saying. All right? So bear with me real quick. These soldiers are being sent to their deaths, man. Again, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. This is a disaster that's waiting to happen when they send these soldiers over to Iran. All right, it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. All right, I'm just saying it straight up and down, man. Okay. But I have the sneaking suspicion that that they're planning on dropping that the big one on them while they're over there. So that means that they're sending all these soldiers over there for the sole purpose of having that thing be dropped on them, so that they can. I speak as a man. Of course. But I believe that they're being sent over there so that it can be dropped on them, and that the narrative can be put in place, and they can say, "Look, we told you that they have the bomb. We told you that they have it." You see what I'm saying? And it'll be used as the justification in order to get this thing going. Simultaneously, at the same time, they're going to strike specific positions here in America in order to further solidify the justification. That's how I'm perceiving this. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you another video. Fair use, fair use. Bear with me.
Listen up. Is a nuclear attack on Iran coming? UN diplomat resigned, saying, giving up my career to leak possible nuke missile strike plan. UN-linked diplomat Mohammed Safa, the main representative of Patriotic Vision at the United Nations, has resigned from his positions, leveling explosive allegations that the international body is preparing for a possible nuclear weapon use in Iran. His claims include specific accusations that senior UN leadership is suppressing dissent to serve a powerful lobby that he claims is engineering a pro-war sentiment through a systemic misinformation campaign regarding Iran's nuclear capabilities. In his most recent post on X, he expressed concern over the campaign regarding Iran's lobby that he claims is engineering a pro-war.
Take it at. He said what? He said hostilities and includes specific accusations that senior UN leadership is suppressing dissent to serve a powerful lobby that he claims is engineering a pro-war sentiment through a systemic misinformation campaign regarding Iran's nuclear capabilities, meaning they're going to strike and they're going to blame it on these people. And that is going to be used as the justification. Remember what I always say, they need a 9/11. They need another one. And what they're about to bring has to overshadow the event of 2001. You understand? What they're about to bring has to overshadow that. And this would do it. You see what I'm saying? This would do it. Let's take it back.
His positions, leveling explosive allegations that the international body is preparing for a possible nuclear weapon use in Iran. His claims include specific accusations that senior UN leadership is suppressing dissent to serve a powerful lobby that he claims is engineering a pro-war sentiment through a systemic misinformation campaign regarding Iran's nuclear capabilities. In his most recent post on X, he expressed concern over the lack of public awareness regarding current UN operations, stating, I don't think people understand the gravity of the situation as the UN is preparing for possible nuclear weapon use in Iran. He highlighted that Tehran is a city of nearly 10 million people. He said he's trying to attempt to prevent a nuclear winter before it's too late. This is his post. Now, if you watched iPad Go, this really makes sense. In iPad Go 2, it shows the Strait of Hormuz, the oil runs out, and then the Dome of the Rock being hit. And then you see the Antichrist figure, and then right here you see the nuke explosion, and then the woman in the hijab with a child. Everything they're doing right now was planned. The war on Iran, the energy lockdowns that are coming, everything.
All right. So let's get this here in the book of Job, chapter 13 and verse 4. It says, but ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. See? All right. So I was listening to a couple videos from the Canadian Prepper. This is his secondary page. All right, Prepper News. And in this video, he was speaking with Gerald Celente, you know what I'm saying? And you know, Gerald was hitting on a lot of points, you know what I'm saying? Very poignant points. And it's you know, it's important to note all these things, but all I gotta grab is just at the beginning, you know what I'm saying? He does a whole preview of the interview. And that's pretty much all we need. All right. Because as I've said before, this war was already lost. There was no possible way, there is no possible way that they could take Iran. All right. There's no possible way they can take Iran. You know what I'm saying? They're too dug in. All right. Um, they're losing too much money with this war. All right. This war is very costly. Um, they have lost vessels, they have lost ships, they have lost planes, they have lost cargo ships, they've lost army bases. You know what I'm saying? All of their bases in the region are completely destroyed. Um, and the amount of casualties are they're through the roof, man. And they are lying about all of these casualties. This is why they're making sure that nobody films or takes pictures at these funerals. You see what I'm saying? Because if word ever got out concerning how many bodies there actually were, then they would lose the narrative. And this is why they have to go forward with this contingency plan of theirs. All right, to build up, you know what I'm saying, to build up the the desire for war, to build up the public opinion. You see what I'm saying? Because right now, nobody wants this war. But if you showed them these casualties in a dramatic display, then they would get this desired outcome. You see what I'm saying? So let me listen. Let's listen to this real quick. This preview, and you know what I'm saying. I want to share with you another couple points that the Canadian prepper brings out. All right.
There's no way that the United States is going to defeat Iran. You couldn't win in Iraq. You couldn't beat the Afghans. What makes you think you're going to beat the Iranians? The war is being brought to us by Israel and the Zionist movement. It's all about oil. You think the United States would have invaded Iraq, Libya, and Syria if their major export was broccoli? The Iranians have been saying there's no peace deal. There has been no negotiations. They're saying it over and over and over again. There's going to be a false flag event. That's what'll bring the draft in. That's what'll bring it going forward. They're playing the markets. They're doing this whole thing. Look at the money that the Trump family's making. Look at the price of energy in Europe. This thing is ruining the world. Get ready for the greatest depression.
All right. So like you said, there's no possible way that they could win this. There's no possible way they could go this, they can go down this route with boots on the ground. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that they can go up in there and grab uranium and all that stuff, man. It's the cover story. All right, that's the cover story, man. Just as Gerald Celente said, there will be an FF event. There will be an FF event. You see what I'm saying? There has to be. There's no other way. They have no other cards to play. You see what I'm saying? This is the only option that they have left in order to get this, in order to get the support that they need for this war. And they're gonna play it. They're gonna play it out well. You know what I'm saying? As well as they could, I should say. As well as they can. They're gonna play it, and they're gonna the propaganda is gonna be 24/7. Okay, the propaganda is going to be over the top. You see what I'm saying? All right. Again, but ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. They're gonna do this thing, man. All right. So let's check the next video. All right, I'm gonna play a little bit of it, you know what I'm saying, for time's sake, and get a couple more precepts and get up out of here. All right, so bear with me.
World War III update, and I forewarn you, this video is going to be long, it's going to be comprehensive, it's going to be succinct. I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste mine either. Let's just get right down to business. If you can do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, that would be great, because we're going to be talking about things that you ain't going to hear anywhere else. We are well ahead of the curve, and what I'm going to be talking about today is going to center around the possibility of using nuclear weapons on Iranian nuclear cities and what they're getting ready to do in response to that. Now, I want to start off with information that I received from a subscriber that they received from the Doomsday Queen, who received information. She's the person we've had on the channel before. She received this information from Jace Medical, which apparently sent out a memo to all of the people on their subscription list. Jace Medical, of course, is a company that allows you to get over-the-counter medication, hassle-free for preparedness purposes. If you're prepping for SHTF, you absolutely need to get some antibiotics and all of your chronic medication needs. And if you don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation with your doctor, some don't mind, but for some people, it's a little awkward. You go there, you can get all your stuff. Now, this is really important. Now, this is not the first time that the government has requisitioned various supplies. We've seen this during the pandemic, but this is a big one. Now, apparently, I have this here just as an example. This is Thyrosafe. This is potassium iodide, okay? This is to prevent the uptake of radioactive iodine in your thyroid gland. Now, that can be released in either a nuclear detonation, more so a radiological event that's surrounding a nuclear facility. So in the case of a radioactive meltdown, or if there was a dirty bomb, or if they were going to bomb an Iranian nuclear facility. Apparently, the Gulf states are scrambling to get their hands on this stuff, and I can't attest to the veracity of this claim, but allegedly they've purchased 10 million doses of this, and I believe every dose is like 24, and you take a couple every day, or 20, and you take a couple tabs a day for 10 days, and you have to do this right away when there's a radiological emergency. This is a staple of all prepper kits. I've done several videos on it in the past. Now, the big news, according to Jace, government commandeered national potassium iodide and Prussian blue supplies in the event of a nuclear accident or exchange. We want to make sure you hear this from us directly. We were notified by our suppliers that the U.S. military has commandeered the entire national inventory of both Prussian blue. Prussian blue, if you don't know, is for the cesium-137 and thallium component of a nuclear detonation or radiological event surrounding a nuclear facility. This is an FDA-approved prescription medication used to treat internal contamination from these things. Now, this is not, I should just say right from the get-go, you can't just expose yourself to gamma radiation. This is not going to cure that. This is just for what gets intaken through the what you need. The Canadians has been effectively cut off, and we do not know when or if new stock will become available. So, obviously, if you don't have any of this stuff yet, I would strongly encourage you to get or any CanadianPreparedness.com. This is, of course, liquidating. Now, I wanted to get that out of the way because if the government is requisitioning these types of medications, and in fact, they started doing this a few years ago. So this is not new, but this particular instance of it with these two companies is very much a new thing. The government was stockpiling acute radiation medication since the onset of the war with Russia and Ukraine. Now, why this is so concerning is because right now, the Israelis and the Americans are trying to hit these missile cities in Iran, okay? And this is footage coming out of Isfahan tonight, and I'm not sure if they were able to successfully hit a missile city, but we're definitely seeing secondary explosions here, which is something that we haven't really seen a whole lot of in this war. The Iranians have been very good at, keeping their ammo stockpiles underground, and so we are seeing secondary explosions here. How significant is this that were they actually able to cause a chain reaction in one of these missile cities? Apparently the missile cities are designed so that if you were able to blow up an entrance and one of these rockets exploded, there's different safeguards in place to prevent a chain reaction from going through the whole tunnel. So obviously this is just an artist illustration of what it could possibly look like. But there's 90-degree angles, and there's doors in between, like blast doors, to stop any sort of chain reaction and things like that. Anyways, the problem is that they've been unsuccessful in destroying these facilities. And so if they're going to use a nuclear weapon, it's not going to be on Tehran, okay? It's not going to be on a major city. That would just be insanity, even for the people right now who are cheering in the Israeli parliament like Ben Gvir, because now they've basically they've passed a law that green lights the death penalty for any Palestinian prisoners, which is just totally insane. So we're going to see a huge bloodletting and human sacrifice take place in Israel, but that's another story. So why this is so important is because I have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to, if there ever is going to be nuclear weapons used in this conflict, it is going to be to take out these missile cities. They're going to use these penetrating bombs, these bunker buster bombs that are going to be modified with a nuclear weapon. I believe there's certain variants of the B-61 gravity bomb that can actually penetrate deep into the earth. And so what we have here, this is just the nuke map. A lot of you guys are familiar with this app. And what it does is it simulates explosions. Now, usually when you're trying to hit a bunker with a nuke, it's a surface blast. And so it's more radioactive. It kicks up more radioactive dust. Now, the prevailing winds in Iran tend to blow to the northwest, depending on the time of year, but based on my research, and the nuke map corroborates that. So this factors in the prevailing winds. And as you can see here, we've detonated a 200 kiloton nuke. I believe the B-61s can go up to 300 kilotons, so let's do 300 kilotons. And so we have a surface detonation, and we're less concerned with the kind of surface radiation. We're more concerned with the potential fallout, okay? Now, the fallout would likely be heading towards Turkmenistan, and I don't think this necessarily does it justice. Of course, the half-life is going to drastically limit. It's not going to be like in the movies where you have, contamination and you got to stay in a bunker for months on end. It's going to dissipate relatively quickly, but there are going to be these isotopes like cesium and iodine, which might linger for a lot longer.
Okay. So pretty much, the fact of the matter is that they're preparing for another, they're preparing for a major event. All right, they're preparing for nuclear fallout. All right. And, this is coming at a time when Turkey is now, floating the idea of entering in the war, against the United States. You know what I'm saying? So, and then there's also another country that's deciding to enter into the war to offer weapons and support to Iran. You know what I'm saying? So America's continually becoming more and more isolated in this conflict. All right. And if they drop that nuke, like I said before in the previous lesson, if they drop that nuke, okay, then they're going to be a pariah on the world stage, and that's going to cause all of her allies to leave her. It's going to cause all of the U.S.'s allies to step away for good. You see what I'm saying? Because nobody is going to want to be attached to this level of annihilation. You know what I'm saying? This level of humanitarian crisis. You know what I'm saying? At this scale, you're doing the number one thing that you're not supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, this thing is. I promise you, this thing's coming, man. This thing is coming. You know what I'm saying? Everything, all the writings on the wall, like Gerald Celentes just said. You know what I'm saying? There's no possible way that they can win this war. We've heard it from Colonel Douglas McGregor. We've heard it from Colonel Daniel Davis. We've heard it from Scott Ritter. You know what I'm saying? We've heard it from all these, all these former high-ranking officials. You know what I'm saying? That this was a fool's errand. And to send boots on the ground is a suicide mission, man. Even these Amalekites are not sending their soldiers, their IDF soldiers, to support America in this. You're on your own. You're on your own. And then you have what was said by Nathaniel Rothschild, that the end is near. So this thing's going down, man. It's going down. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you one more video, all right, to further prove this point. One more video. Bear with me.
Get ready for it. U.S. government's about to hit some cities, and then they're going to blame it on another country as justification for more war. How do I know this? Because you know how fucking hard it is to get a drone off base? It's practically damn near impossible, unless you are the actual operator for that drone. And you're telling me 4 ended up missing. Nah. It's coming.
All right. So let me end it off with this scripture in the book of Luke, chapter 21, starting at verse 29. It reads, "And he spake to them a parable. Behold the fig tree and all the trees. When they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand." All right, when you look out the windows, right? When you look out the windows, now you can start to see the trees beginning to bud, beginning to grow leaves. You see what I'm saying? It's letting you know that we're in the springtime, okay? We're in the springtime, and we're about to enter into summer. So summer is nigh at hand. Okay? When they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. So likewise, ye, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of the Most High is nigh at hand. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Heaven and earth may pass away, but my words shall not pass away. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, so that day come upon you unawares. You see what I'm saying? When you look at these jokers like Deacon Hakah, you know what I'm saying, and Brother Hassad, all right, these two imbeciles who took the bag right here at the last moment. At the last moment, right when all hell is about to break loose and Yahushua is soon to come back, they took the bag and they turned their back. You see what I'm saying? And they joined ranks with the enemy. You see what I'm saying? This is 2026, man. The year of Jacob's trouble. All right. The year of apostasy, sellouts, and agents, man. And we're seeing a lot of turncoats, man. And the sifting continues. Here on the eve of the Passover, all right, 2026, man. Lord willing, this be the last one, and it's looking like this very well may be the last Passover that we have on this side, man. You know what I'm saying? As the Apostle Tahar says, Elder Apostle Tahar says, we're counting down the months at this point. You see what I'm saying? So don't be overcharged with the fighting and drunkenness and the cares of this life, man. Because if you care about this place, you're gonna try and stay here. If you care about your possessions here, you're gonna try and keep them. And in order to keep them, you're gonna have to capitulate. You're going to bow down to the image of this beast and take that charagma, take that mark. You see what I'm saying? Lord willing that that the Spirit remains on us, okay, and we remain diligent, okay, and steadfast in this truth, to not give in to the to the will of these devils, man. Verse 35. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. So this has been your brother Zakaria Allah. I pray this lesson was edifying to the nation of Israel. All right, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruchak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, of whom I've grown in this truth under. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.